this video, I'm going to show you how to organize your student data once you've pulled this comprehensive report. In the last video, I showed you how to make filters so that you could filter the data any way that you pleased. In this one, I'm going to take it to the next level. We're going to make it look really nice and neat with organization. So the first thing I'm going to do is just scroll over to some of these columns that I put filters on that were blank. In order to organize, I have to have a title to these columns. Now these were blank columns, so really I could have deleted them, or I can title them. Either way, just so I don't have anything with a blank title. It happens 6 times in this data report, so there was one here too. So see, there's an NA above them, so I could have chosen to delete this column. I'm just going to make it easy and put a label. This is beginning reporting category 1 data. And same thing happens at the front of reporting category 2. This was blank, so I just put RC2 so it has a title, because I'm going to select this row and it has to have a title in every column. There's reporting category 3. And I did this all the way through 4 and 5. So just making sure this whole row has a title above every column. So my student data, this row that I'm selecting, starts in row 17, and then I have all these students listed underneath. So I'm going to select all of the columns and all of the students. So this is a pretty small group. I chose a junior high so that I have a small group to show you with. So all the way down to row 71, and then I'm going to choose Insert Pivot Table. It's going to ask me, do I want it in the same worksheet or do I want a new worksheet? And I do want a new tab. So hit OK. And then it's going to look funky. There's not really anything here yet because I haven't added any data. So what was really important to me, and I'll show you 2 ways to look at this, is 1, looking at the form the student was on. Were they on a high, a low, or a medium? So once I've organized it by high, low, and medium, I want it to fill in who those kids were. So I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to choose student. And so now it's a nice list of everybody that was on the high form, everybody that was on the low form, and everybody that was on the medium form. Okay, if I wanted to take this a step further, I could also add scaled score to this, and sometimes it will put it into a different place than I want it. I really want it to be under the student. I could do this 2 ways. I could break it down under high by scaled score and student, but I don't think that looks very nice. So I'm going to move my student values up 1 so that it's the student, but then I get a little extra information underneath them about their scaled score. I could also add their overall raw score to this data so that I can see that this was their scale score, but this is how many they got out of 36. So that's one way for my data to be organized. Or I could have just left it with student name. If I don't want any of that information, I don't have to have the scaled score there. I don't have to have the overall score there. I could leave it like this without scaled score. Or I could just have a list of names who was on the high, medium, and low track. Okay. So another thing that I can do, I'm going to go back to my data. Another thing that I can do is to select this data and to choose Insert Pivot Table again on a new worksheet. And this time, I'm going to let it show me scaled score first under rows. Okay, there's all my scaled scores. And then who got that scale score right underneath. So this is organized for me by scaled score, and then it would be really nice to know, and I'm going to show you this, the overall score. So look at this 3550. This student had 10 out of 36, but this student had 15 out of 36, and both of them have the same scaled score. And that is because of the form that they were on. So he was on a medium form and got 10 out of 36 correct, but only a 3550. They were on a low form, so they had to get more correct to get a 3550. So that could be good information. If you really want to play with this, it's like a cooking show. The souffle is already done. You can color code them so that they're a little easier for you. Maybe you have a colored printer. This is one way that I did the high, medium, low. For the other one, where it's by scaled score, I colored them the way that we see it with our scaled score conversion charts from TEA, where everything in the purple is approaches, everything in the blue is meets, and everything in the green is masters. so that I have a pretty good overview of how to group maybe in small group with our EOC blitzes, just a lot of good information in a nice, neat category.